This is my folded neckline on my recent raglan sweater. Looks nice and neat on the inside and nice and neat on the outside as well. The first thing you want to do is work a standard knit bind off, and remember to do it loosely enough that your bind off is stretchy enough to get it over your head. Cut your yarn, leaving a tail that's about twice the circumference of your neckline. And here's my final stitch. I'm just going to pull out my tail. Something that I think makes this process easier is to take a removable stitch marker, find your first stitch of your row. This is my last one over here, this purl stitch. So my first one was this column of knit stitches. I go all the way down to my first stitch and place my removable stitch marker in it. Turn your sweater inside out, find your bind off tail. You can go ahead and thread that through a yarn needle. If we fold our neckline down a little bit towards the inside of our work, you can see a sideways row of V's. These are our bind off stitches. And then if we look down here, right along where we picked up, we have kind of a funky looking sideways V right here. This is our like cast on edge that we picked up along. But you can kind of see how these look like sideways V's. Find where that marker was. Here's mine. So this column of purl stitches here is my first stitch that I'm working with. And where my other tails are coming out of, directly below that column of purl stitches, right here, this is our first cast on stitch that we picked up from. And it goes with my first bind off stitch, which is a little bit hard to see, but it's this one right here, where my first knit column starts to curl over. Here's my first picked up stitch. I'm only going to go into half of it, the half closest to my ribbing, and then go into half of my first bind off stitch, which is right here, the closest leg to my pickup edge. And I'm going away from myself towards the neckline. We just picked up this one right here. You can kind of see our tan color coming out of it. Now we move one more over to the next V or the next stitch, which is this one right here. But we're only going to catch half of it and go up to our next bind off stitch, which is this one right here. But we're only going to catch half of it that's closest to our pickup edge. Pull through, and that's it. You just do that all the way around, making sure that you're not skipping one so everything stays lined up. You want to be careful as you're doing this that you're not pulling too tight when you're attaching the stitches. You want to be able to still stretch your neckline because you need to stretch it over your head to get it on. So once you get down to the final few, just finish it out. Might be a little bit harder to tell at the very end. My final bind off stitch is really tiny, but just do your best. So I can go ahead and weave in my ends here, close up any holes that you might have, but there you have it. That is how you work a picked up folded neckline. And if you want to learn how to work a folded cuff edge for your sleeves, you can go ahead and find the tutorial for that right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial.